Good evening, everyone, and welcome to the Bundesliga show. We're back tonight for our first Bundesliga watch along the season. So we're doing a bit of Borussia Dortmund at home to Hoffenheim. So really excited to watch this game. So I hope everyone is doing well and can tune in to watch as much of the game with us as possible. Mark, first and foremost. Very early thoughts on the lineups, but maybe before we do the lineups, we'll just do a couple of quick predictions as to how we think this game will go. Obviously, for everyone that's watching, please drop your thoughts, your predictions in the chat, in the live chat. It'll be great to see what people's thoughts are on who we think might win this game. So over to you, Mark. What do you reckon the score's going to be tonight?
Yeah, I mean, I really like the look of that. We'll talk about it a bit more. I do like the look of this Hoffenheim side, I've got to say. And I do think they'll get a score draw tonight. I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw, actually. I think they were unlucky not to get a draw last year at Dortmund when they conceded with pretty much the last kick of the game. But it was that man Haaland, and obviously he's not playing tonight. And I actually think, I seem to remember that Hoffenheim were the better side at the Signal Iduna Arena, and they were very unlucky to lose that game. I think that was also a Friday night game at a similar stage of the season too. So I guess it's like, I do believe that Dortmund will get a goal or two in this game, but I think that Hoffenheim can get a goal or two as well. So I'm going to go for a 2-2 draw.
Yeah, nice, good stuff. Well, it'll be a close game, I think. Really excited. Great kind of, the carrot being dangled for both sides in terms of if one of them wins, they'll go top of the Bundesliga. I don't know. I mean, like, both teams have done well, but I guess I've been more impressed with how Hoffenheim played. But going away to Dortmund on a Friday night is no easy task. I'm going to go 3-1 Dortmund, I think. So, obviously we've done our kind of rough predictions. Again, let us know what you think in the chat. But what do you reckon to the lineups then, Mark? I like the look of Hoffenheim. But before we go into them, what do you reckon to Dortmund? Do you think they actually look a little bit more reserved than what we would usually see for a Dortmund side? That's not something that I'm usually kind of putting in the same sentence, Dortmund and reserved.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, I think it could be, obviously they are missing a lot of players. We all know about the Haller situation, which was tragic, which is why Anthony Modeste is starting. I've not been overly impressed with him since he's come to the club, to be honest, but he did get his first goal last week. So we'll have to see. I think I said originally when they first signed him, it is a stopgap signing, and I think, as soon as Haller is fit, he's going to be straight into that number 9 spot. But as for now, they need Modeste to he's probably going to be out for another probably 3 to 4 months. From what I've read, his cancer surgery is going well, which is fantastic news. But I would imagine at least until the new year, until we'll see him, and that will be a good result. To be honest with you, it could be later. So, yeah, I do like Özcan as well. I think he's made a solid start to his Dortmund career. Bellingham, of course, Royce, they're going to be key tonight. Julian Brandt coming into the side. We've not seen an awful lot of him at all, have we, this season so far? But he's a very streaky player, Brandt. Some days you watch him and you think, he's a quality player, and other times you just think, how is he even a professional footballer? So, they've got to hope that it's going to be one of his better days today because, as you say, Rory, that Hoffenheim side looks strong and they strengthen well in summer, The likes of Prömel, Angelino and Kabak have all started well in their Hoffenheim careers, and it's going to be interesting to see if they can get a result tonight.
Yeah, really excited by Hoffenheim going forward. They've been scoring plenty of goals already this season. As you mentioned, Angelino and Skoff will get forward at, regular intervals with that kind of midfield trio of Geiger, Baumgartner and Prömel doing a lot of work in the midfield. It'll be interesting to see. There'll be 2 key battles for me tonight. I think, firstly and foremost, the battle in midfield. So if Dortmund kind of go with a few more numbers, that'll be interesting to see if they outnumber Hoffenheim, and the battle of the wing backs in effect as well. But yeah, really looking forward to this game kicking off, which it will be in just a moment. Just seeing the players having their handshakes at the moment. So Dortmund just finishing the last minute kind of warm-ups in their very snazzy warm-up jackets as well. And Baumann and Royce are going to do the coin toss as well for this evening's game. obviously tonight in Signal Iduna Park. Lots on the line tonight. So really looking forward to it. I hope everyone that is tuning in will enjoy the watch along with us. Let us know your thoughts of the game as things goes along. Predictions, just had one in from Joe saying 3-2. Hope you're doing well, Joe. Thanks for tuning in. And yeah, we hope to bring you lots of goals. It's the first time we've done a Friday night Bundesliga game. So we're really looking forward to it. The old adage saying that the Bundesliga Friday night game always delivers the goods. So yeah, looking forward to getting stuck into this one, Mark. And we're about to kick off just a couple of team huddles. But yeah, are you expecting a fast and furious start tonight?
Yeah, I think it is a big game, isn't it? With obviously that carrot of the winner going top. I mean, Hoffenheim, of course, will be the happier with a point. There's no question about that. Whenever you go to the Signal Iduna, you're happy to take a point. But, I think there's something in Hoffenheim tonight that might just think, maybe like if we start well, the keys always start in these kind of games. And the start is always really, really important. But I just think, if they can start well in this game, they'll grow in confidence. And I don't think it's impossible they could get even a win out of it. But at the same time, I can see, Rory, why you're confident that Dortmund are going to win quite comfortably, because they usually do at home, let's be honest. It only tends to be like the real top teams, your Bayerns, your Leipzigs, your Leverkusens, who cause them that many problems at home. Although I think Bochum did put 4 past them at the end of last season, didn't they? So they'll be looking to try and emulate that success. But yeah, really looking forward to the game. And the kickoff already happened about 30 seconds ago, and it's already a corner for the away side as well. Hummels, yeah, I have been a little bit surprised to see that Hummels is starting so many games. I honestly thought Süle and Schlotterbeck would be the first choice centre-half partnership, but some good defending there to stop Ruter. As Hoffenheim already, they had so many bodies forward there, and it's inside the first 20 seconds. So yeah, that's Hoffenheim for you nowadays. And then the corner's going to be swept in, I think, by Geiger. So we'll just watch this come in now. Corner from the right side. Oh! Jeez. I thought it was going to fall for the... I thought it was going to fall. It actually looked like a decent chance, didn't it? But wow, I think we were talking about a fast and furious start, and it really has been. Julian Brandt as well now getting away. Loads of space here for Dortmund. But his cross is blocked. It comes out to Wolf, who hits it, and it's well saved. Jeez, we've already had a couple of chances in the first minute and a half, Rory.
Yeah, it looks like you're quite ahead of me actually there, Mark. So we when we do this together, we're often very kind of out of sync, which is just the fact that we're in different countries. But yeah, encouraging start from both teams. I'm hoping that we'll get loads of goals tonight. Just whilst we're kind of ferrying through things, and Mark, you'll probably have to lead on the commentary tonight as things go along, but I'll ferry through any questions. So Gary's asked one straight away in regards to a transfer that's gone through. Will Akanji flop at City, and will BVB miss him? I know I have my thoughts on this one, but Mark, over to you on that one, just as we kind of get settled into this game tonight.
Yeah, I was surprised, to be honest, because I think Man City are probably the big club, like the kind of super club that do the best business of anyone in Europe, to be honest with you. And I think, most of the signings are brilliant. And I just don't think Akanji is good enough for this level, in my opinion. I never really rated him at Dortmund, in truth. And I always thought, whenever they played against the better teams, your Bayerns, your Leipzigs, your Leverkusens, he just looked a lost man at centre-half, really, alongside Hummels in many cases. And obviously his injury record, so he always gets those niggling injuries, and he tends to miss like 10 to 15 games a season. But to be honest, I think, in all truth, I don't think we'll see that much of him, let's be honest. I mean, I think he's been signed for like the League Cup run, the FA Cup run, maybe some group games in the Champions League, but I really don't think we'll see much of him in the Premier League. What do you think, Rory? Do you think we'll see much of him as a starting player?
I guess it's a needs must for City. They've obviously seen an opportunity to get the player into the squad because they are a little bit short right now. But he was a bit of a fan favourite, well, in a sense, at Dortmund. The fact that I think a lot of people liked him and had a lot of good wishes towards him in terms of how they wanted him to do well. But apart from the odd really good kind of standout performance here and there, obviously, as you mentioned, he was injured a lot. Very inconsistent, so I can't say that BVB will miss him too much. Obviously, their defense now is starting to look a lot more built up. So no, I think they're moving in the right direction with regards to their defence. So interesting question, Gary. Hope that kind of relatively answers, and interesting to see what your thoughts are on that indeed. Just as we're sailing into the game, Mark, where any kind of patterns you've seen early on? I think obviously Hoffenheim has started with a lot of energy out there, haven't they?
Yeah, just attack basically. One guy that has started the game well for Dortmund is Marius Wolf. Like I do think he's been very good in recent weeks. Actually, he's a player that I've always liked, but even from his days back at Köln as well, when he had that loan spell there, I thought, and I just think he's starting to look like a really good player at fullback. Actually, it's not his natural position. He is actually more of a forward traditionally, but I think like that kind of fullback position is really starting to make it his own, and he's here on the ball again. I think he's just won a corner as well. Has he? Yeah, he's won a corner. He's very, very industrious, but he's also got a bit of quality on the ball, and he seems to be able to do a bit of defensive work too. And he's done well to win a corner there as well off Vogt. So yeah, the ball's going to be whipped in by Dortmund just as we pass the 5-minute mark. It's going to be that man, Julian Brandt, who's going to whip it in. Just watch this corner now. I think Modeste waiting in the middle. We know he's good in the air. What can he do here? Oh, but it's well claimed, really well claimed by Baumann. Good, solid goalkeeper. The captain as well tonight for Hoffenheim, and he rolls it out to the centre half. Akpaguma just on the ball now. Oh, some really nice play as well. Is he going to get there? He is. He's going to get there, Akpaguma. We almost saw a bit of the kind of classic Dortmund dodgy defending there as well from Hummels, really. But it's... this is just a brilliant game so far, even though there's been no kind of major chances. But now Brandt breaks on he plays it through to Modeste, but it's good defending by, who was it there? The defender, it was Vogt, actually. Yeah, he's had a solid start to the game for Hoffenheim. Yeah, Rory, what have you made of it so far? Anyone kind of stood out for you so far?
No, well, obviously, Hoffenheim have gone about the way that they usually do it when they play Dortmund. They're very aggressive on the press. Obviously, I remember them, the likes of Posch and Vogt having to play against Haaland, obviously, last season. Very aggressive with him. I think both of them were in the referees' notebook quite early on as well. So they're kind of mirroring that a little bit. But yeah, I probably am a little bit behind you, Mark. So I'll do my best to keep up with everything. But yeah, so far, Dortmund, of course, will try and use that kind of physicality from set pieces. But yeah, Baumann's dealt with that quite well on the first occasion so far. But yeah, both teams look really up for it. I'm quite confident that we're going to get some goals tonight. Just as as you mentioned, Akpaguma had a quick go, but it was handled by Dortmund. So. Yeah, not nicely settling into this evening. So, as I mentioned, hope everyone that is tuning in is doing well. Let us know if you're a Dortmund fan that's watching tonight, or if you're a Hoffenheim fan, what your expectations are for the game tonight, and indeed for the rest of the season. What's going on right now, then, Mark? How far are you ahead of me?
Yeah, it's actually Hoffenheim with a lot of the. I'm on about 7.5 minutes. What are you on, Rory? Are you about a minute behind me?
Yeah, roughly about a minute behind, so not
really
too bad.
Okay, so we've got a bit of a gap today. Yeah. But to be honest, Hoffenheim have been the better side, really. But both sides are looking like they've got quality. Obviously both sides with 3 wins from 4. They're both relatively confident. But I just think with Dortmund, even now you can see like that they miss that Haaland presence. Haaland just would not let defenders rest at all, would he? Modeste is just, he's a good striker, but for me, he was always a good striker for like a lower team. That was his level, really. I say Köln, with all due respect, they finished 7th last year, but, a team without sky-high ambitions, maybe, and he's just not got that presence that Haaland did, like harrying defenders. Although I say that, but he's kind of away here. A long ball into him. He's got the ball on the edge of the penalty area now, Modeste. But he plays a poor ball in, which is well dealt with again by Vogt, who's made a really good start to the game, actually, in defence. I think that's going to be one key thing for Hoffenheim tonight, because let's be honest, they've not always been the best defensive side, and they concede too many goals. They never have a problem scoring goals, Hoffenheim, do they? They score left, right, and centre, but whether they can really show that they're going to be a quality defensive outfit, that's absolutely massive for me, for them. obviously the new manager coming in as well. A lot of people forget that Andre Breitenreiter, really good German name, that, isn't it, as well? But yeah, I think he's gonna. Yeah, so far from what I've seen, he has made an impact. He's tightened them up defensively, but managed to keep that kind of quality going forward as well. So, like, so far, you can't complain. Only one defeat. And let's be honest, that defeat was mostly because they got a red card after like 15 minutes or something. So you can't read too much into that one. I think it was Stefan Posch, wasn't it, who went, and he's actually been farmed out to Bologna yesterday as well. So obviously he didn't make much of an impression in the side. But yeah, I do like the look of that back three that he's got tonight. You know, I do like Vogt. He's improved as a player the last year and a half or so. Kabak as well, obviously he's going to have improved after his experience in the Premier League, obviously with Liverpool as well. So it's a bit of a coup really for Hoffenheim, and I think Akpogoma is a really good defender as well, and he gets goals and assists on top of that. So, you know, I mean, it's a really good looking Hoffenheim squad. Like, they've got a lot of quality, a lot of steel in there, but we'll just have to see what they can do really. Hoffenheim, Dortmund just on the ball now. Again, it was Wolf who's been the most influential player for Dortmund in the first 10 minutes, just playing it halfway into Dortmund's half here. Out wide to Bino Gittins, who loses the ball after a challenge from Robert Skoff. So, Rory, yeah, well, what are you expecting then? Do you think we'll see the first goal in the next few minutes, or?
Yeah, I'm trying to rattle my brain as to the earliest goal that we've had on a watch along before. We usually get them around the 15 to 20 minute mark, so I'm hoping that it'll come quite soon. Both teams are just obviously figuring themselves out. It's a bit kind of harem scarum, I'd say, at the moment. Both teams are kind of like, as you say, you know, great intensity to the game so far. But I think Dortmund are doing the right thing now, and as you say, kind of just getting their foot on the ball a bit, spraying a few passes around, getting themselves a bit of confidence, because there's been quite a lot of passes that have been going astray so far, and Hoffenheim obviously just settling into their shape. But yeah, it's interesting what we say about Hoffenheim, and obviously, Mark, if anything does happen in the game, feel free to just interrupt me. But yeah, they've got all the talent in the world, and you know, we often talk well about the squads that Hoffenheim managed to build, but you know, they were well on for European football last year, weren't they? They're even in the mixed Champions League at one point.
Yeah,
I think
they were fourth at the break in the Christmas break. They were fourth.
And yeah, we were kind of saying, "Oh, this is a new Hoffenheim. They're a lot less fragile, and they won't be so up and down." But lo and behold, they were. But yeah, so it will be interesting to see as time goes on. Can they fill out a full Bundesliga season? Make the most of the teams that are obviously already in Europe, and just kind of go with those one match a week kind of format, and that might benefit them in terms of the league table this season. But yeah, it's obviously all to come so far. Just as obviously we've gone over 10 minutes here. Tonight, Friday night football in the Bundesliga, definitely the best game going tonight in Europe. So yeah, really good game to get stuck into. So make sure that you tell your friends to tune in to our watch along this evening. Comment along, let us know your thoughts about the game so far, and indeed if you've got any questions for me and Mark in general about the weekend's games as well. At halftime, we'll probably be doing a bit of a look forward to the rest of the weekend's games, and maybe doing some predictions as well. So that'll be good fun. But if you're just tuning in for the first time as well, you've never come across us before, welcome along. Welcome back to all our regulars as well. Do drop the video a like as well whilst you can, and please do hit the red button and subscribe. We've hit 650 today, which is brilliant, but we want more and more and more to join our community. So please do press the subscribe button. Yeah, what's going on now, Mark's just more kind of Dortmund possession really that we've seen at the moment.
Yeah, Hoffenheim have just brought the ball out really well from Vogt. I've been really impressed with him so far. You know, I think he looks a really improved player. He's just carried the ball out really well, but in the end, it was lost. It's currently in the hands of Andre Breitenreiter. Actually, it's going to be a throw-in for Angelino. Just on the ball, passes it back to Akpogoma, and Hoffenheim just looking to build from the back. You know, they look quite calm and composed as well, which is something that, as you say, hasn't always been associated with Hoffenheim teams. They're never lacking quality, but like it's just that game management, isn't it, with them? And I'm quite curious to see how well they're going to manage this game tonight, because I do believe it's winnable for them from what I've seen. Also from what I've seen in the first 15 minutes. Oh, is it going to be a throw in for Hoffenheim very, very deep into the BVB half? So yeah, they are looking a bit more dangerous going forward. I think from Dortmund, it's mostly been long balls really so far, but Hoffenheim have been playing a little bit more of the football. Angelino with that throw in, it's headed behind for a corner kick as well. So yeah, good pressure there from Grisha. Prömel has won a corner for Hoffenheim just as we approach the 15-minute mark. So yeah, it's going to be whipped in the corner. We'll have to see what happens here by Angelino. He whips it in. Oh, not the best defending. Oh, he's given a free kick though. That seemed a little bit soft. The ball, it looked like it was going to go out to in a really good position for a Hoffenheim player, but the referee gave a foul against Hummels. You can see that Hummels is really working hard as well. Maybe the fact that Süle has been brought in has kind of pushed him to realize, he's got to work hard to keep his place in the team, because, I didn't think he was that great last season, really, but he started really well tonight. He looked really impressive. And in general, this season, he's looked a lot better, in my opinion. So, yeah.
He'll have to play well to keep Süle out. I think it's a bit of a surprise that we've not seen him come straight into the team, Süle. But, Hummels certainly would have to be on his best form going forward. So it's
goal for BVB. Sorry to interrupt you there. Yeah, I just realized, it looks like it's Marco Reus. I think there will be a check on this goal. Yeah, right. Poor defending, just as we were talking, really. It looked, I'd need to see the replay because it didn't look like there was that much on, but it has found its way into the back of the net. Well, there's not that much celebration here from the BVB fans. I don't know. It seems like a very subdued celebration, but are they going to go to VAR for this one? Just stay with it. The fans seem a bit happier now all of a sudden. It was a good passing move, actually. Bino Gittins out to Julian Brandt in the middle, who played a really good ball, actually. Ooh. Yeah, I think they're just checking the offside from the Julian Brandt pass, actually, from what I can see. They're also checking... Ooh. Yeah, it looked as though it's a very funny one, really, because it looks as though Bellingham has actually got a touch on it, which you couldn't see, which could potentially put it into an offside position. But one angle looks like it's offside and the other looks like it's not. It's a strange one, this, really.
Yeah, well, we don't always
It all depends on whether Bellingham got the touch, from what I can see, because I think Bellingham got the touch, it'll be chalked off. But it seems as though it's been given. It's been given, no problem. You often see in the Bundesliga that they don't really they're not as fussy as in the Premier League, are they?
No.
They seem to just give the goals, which I'm happy with in many cases, really. In the Premier League, we see these goals disallowed for absolutely nothing, don't we? But it doesn't really happen in the Bundesliga. Now Gittins again on the byline. Ooh. But yeah, they just about get it away there into midfield, Hoffenheim. They seem a bit shaken because it started the game solidly, but now obviously find themselves a goal behind. You always say, Rory, that every time we do a watch along, there's a goal after 15 minutes, and it happened again, pretty much.
Yeah. I was just thinking, I really hope that actually comes to pass now. But yeah, there we go. First goal of our watch along this evening goes to Marco Reus. Tidy finish in the end. Obviously seeing that Bellingham was getting involved. But yeah, not
what
much.
Do you think it was enough to be disallowed, or do you think it was fair to give
it? I think it's fair. I'm glad that the goal stands, because obviously we want to see goals. Doesn't look like he really gets a touch to it. Hoffenheim torn apart by pretty nice touch, actually, by Julian Brandt. He's got that in his locker. He is a tidy footballer. He might not be the most athletic, but he's he's got good touches and he's a good operator of the football. So that's I think you can call that an assist for him, can't you? Marco Reus. Yeah, Marco Reus, my captain. Well, not my captain. I've starred him tonight in anticipation of him getting some goals, and he's already got one. So good news for me. Obviously Hoffenheim, they do look a bit rattled after that, because they had a pretty decent start to the game. But 1-0 here, Friday night football, as promised, a goal on 15 minutes. I'll see if I can work my magic
again. Modesta with a sitter as well. Modesta just missed an absolute sitter. The ball coming in there from the side. I mean, how's he missed that? He's got a header with all the space in the world, and he's headed it high, wide, and not so handsome over the bar. Like that one was. I think the pass came in from Brandt again. I think it was. I'd have to double check that, but it looked like Brandt put the ball in, and he's just headed it wide from pretty much right in front of the goal. I don't know if it's come on your screen, Rory, but that should have been 2-0 there. And Hoffenheim hadn't dealt well with going behind whatsoever. And, you know, but for me, this is the strength with Dortmund. You know, they're very good at this. They manage to, they get goals out of nothing very often, don't they, Dortmund? And it's like, they are very good at this. And then once they get in front, you know, they can often overwhelm teams and even sometimes good teams as well, like Hoffenheim. So, yeah. Well, what do you think, Rory? What needs to happen now for Hoffenheim? Do they need to just stay in the game, or
just take the sting out of it, don't they? You know, they're still looking like they're trying to be as aggressive as they can do on the press and in the tackles, but at the same time, Dortmund are now playing quite confidently, so they're actually being able to play, you know, in passages out of those kind of pressing situations. As you mentioned, Modeste, that's kind of his meat and drink, isn't it, really? Some good play down the left again. Marius Wolf. I think
it was. Sorry, not Brian.
Yeah. So he's doing a fine job of, sitting in for Guerrero, who would usually be playing there. I think young player Rota is on the bench as well. So, you know, he probably would have been hoping for a chance, but so far, Wolf has done a very fine job this evening in front of the home fan. I'm sure it'll be absolutely bouncing in the stadium right now. Again, it's always a shame that we can't listen to the atmosphere. Obviously, we don't care about the commentary because that's what we're here for. But yeah, that's obviously a shame that we're not being able to hear the yellow wall with their fine kind of chants and things like that. But in the meantime, just about 20 minutes or so gone in the Bundesliga tonight. Dortmund are home to Hoffenheim, and as it stands, thanks to Marco Reus's goal, they're going top of the Bundesliga. And yeah, well, it would be a very kind of nice thing for Dortmund, especially considering their shock loss to Werder a couple of weekends ago. They'll be very pleased to be, you know, top of the Bundesliga after that result. Some neat interchange in passes here between Dortmund. This might have already happened for you, Mark, but Hoffenheim just need to get set, absorb a bit of pressure, and just kind of watch it out at the moment. So far, since the goal, they've been significantly second best, I'm afraid.
Oh, and they've just missed an absolute sitter, Dortmund again. What? They can't keep missing chances like this. They got overwhelmed in midfield. Some great play again by Brand. And then it's actually Modeste with the ball, and it's Gittins. Oh, you'll be shocked when you see this one, Rory. Modeste with a really good ball in this time, but Gittins has missed another sitter. He's just kind of like, he's just not timed it. I don't think he thought it was going to get past the last defender, and he's just completely fallen over the ball. And that was like a real sitter, that one. Probably even better chance than the Modeste one. Dortmund should be 2 up. There's no question about that. They missed 2 great chances to put themselves in a really commanding position here. As I say, Hoffenheim just haven't dealt with going behind at all. And, you know, this is a bit worrying for them because you are going to go behind in games and you've got to find a way to deal with that. But so far, Hoffenheim have just been completely overwhelmed since the goal, and they're very lucky not to be 2-0 down. Have you seen that one yet, Rory?
Yeah, it's just coming on now, I think. I mean, Dortmund, should be 3-0 up, shouldn't they? Yeah. Quite easy to say that. Be interesting to hear any thoughts of Dortmund fans that are watching with us tonight. Are you frustrated by the lack of clinicality so far? Because it could come back to haunt your side so far. Hoffenheim fans, let us know if you're watching from behind the sofa. Because at the moment it's harem scarum stuff. But yeah, certainly I think the Bino Gittins chance is an easier one than the Modeste one. But they're looking really dangerous going forward. So much for a reserve Dortmund side, like we said. You can kind of feel the next goal coming, can't you?
Yeah, absolutely. Home Dortmund really are, like, especially on the Friday nights. I read that they've not lost for about 37 games on Friday nights, which is just, you know, absolutely crazy, isn't it? So, Yeah, but they've been really good tonight. You can't really doubt, coming up against a strong Hoffenheim side. But at the moment, Hoffenheim just look completely overwhelmed. Like, they're struggling to get any passes out. Kevin Vogt has just smashed the ball against Brandt. If it bounced the wrong way, it could have been another disaster for them. But it's gone out for a throw-in for Hoffenheim on the left-hand side. Angelino again, good throw, but yeah, it's just not looking that good. They can't get any space. Like, the press has just been really, really strong, and they just look completely overwhelmed at the moment, Hoffenheim. And I do believe that if they can stay in the game for the next 10, 15 minutes, then they can still get something out of the game. But at the moment, they're just struggling to get any space. Some good plays from Geiger there, though, to find the ball for Angelino. They've actually got the first possession they've had, I think, since they've been behind. Angelino's struggling a little bit, though. They seem to be really closing him down. Meunier is doing a really good job on him so far. Jorginho Rutter has pretty much done nothing the whole game. I think they need Geiger, his kind of skill on the ball to kind of get them a bit more possession and play the way up the park, which he did do there. But in the end, Angelino was crowded out.
They're quite a small team tonight, Hoffenheim, aren't they?
Yeah, they are actually. Yeah.
So obviously they started the game as we mentioned, trying to press Dortmund as much as possible and were quite physical and obviously trying to win those balls up quite high. But if you look at the likes of Geiger and Baumgartner and a couple of other players like that, they are
Angelino as well.
Yeah, Angelino, of course. Yeah, and so they are quite small in stature. So with Modeste up front, I think, as you alluded to a little bit earlier, Mark, the way the Dortmund were playing, like with some of the longer balls, obviously it makes sense, doesn't it? Like, you've got to play to what you have. You haven't got Adeyemi, Daniel Marlon, Thorgan Hazard, Gio Reyna, all those sort of players aren't playing. Obviously, there's a couple on the bench, even Mukoku, who might come on later. But yeah, playing to their strengths right now, and it's working for sure.
Awful pass there from Baumgartner as well. He was in a good position. He's just knocked it out now, and Brandt is getting acres of space on this side as well. Like, he's going to have a real strong game. If anyone's got him in the team tonight, then I think they're going to be getting a few points. The ball coming in there from the. It's gone behind for another corner. Meunier getting there to the byline to win a corner off Vogt. To be honest, I think Vogt is the only player really tonight for Hoffenheim that can say, yeah, he's had a good game up to now. I think they have struggled, but Dortmund can do this to teams. They overwhelm teams at the Signal Iduna, and it's just one of their strengths. The press. And this is not the strongest Dortmund 11 I've ever seen in my life, but they're definitely playing well tonight, and they're working harder. For me, they're working harder for each other than they've done in the last 2 or 3 years, in truth. And I think that's a real good sign, and that's what Terzic offers, I guess. What do you think, Rory? Do you think that's one big benefit of Terzic, the fact that he kind of like unites the team a bit more than the other managers?
Yeah, 100%. Yeah, like that's kind of like his MO, isn't it? Really, like, he does bring teams together quite well. It's obviously kind of Dortmund through and through, knows a lot of the players really well. So I think that's quite a natural thing for him to kind of bring out with the players. But that's like, obviously, it's not a Dortmund team that have been playing together for ages. There obviously are a lot of new signings. So I think, yeah, we have to give him credit in that regard. Does Terzic lack a little bit in other areas? Not as experienced. Tactically, I think he's a little bit weaker on at times. So, yeah, obviously all managers and head coaches have their different strengths and weaknesses, but Terzic is one of his biggest strengths. He definitely brings a team ethic and ethos to his Dortmund side and side previously that won the Pokal under him. So yeah, encouraging so far from Dortmund. Closing in on half an hour gone here on Friday night. Hope everyone that's tuning in is doing well. It'd be great to hear or listen to where you guys are watching from, what country, where in the world. Let us know in the comments where you're tuning in from. It'd be really interesting. But we welcome everyone, returning viewers and new. Hope everyone can enjoy the game tonight, as it's off to a pretty good start, and I'm sure we'll get a goal before half time. Whether it's a Hoffenheim one, we'll have to see, Mark, because yeah, Dortmund keep on building, and the team that basically look like scoring, don't they?
Yeah, they do. I would have said that until the last probably minute or two when Hoffenheim have definitely started getting the foot on the ball again a little bit more. It does seem as though that Gittins miss is kind of taking a little bit of the storm out of the BVB attacks. But it should have been, there's no question it should be 2-0, as you say, and possibly even 3-0. So BVB will be a bit sick about that. But, I think it's Brandt. Brandt is just getting so much space, literally, and they need to start. I don't know whether they decided to lay off Brandt a little bit in the tactics, Hoffenheim, but he's just getting so much space and he looks more fired up than he usually does as well. He's just done a good piece of defending just before on Kramaric. Although Hoffenheim here, they could break. Oh, no good. That's terrible. Oh, is it a foul though? It looked as though Hoffenheim were going to get the first proper breakaway there of the match, but it seems as though Schlotterbeck has stopped him, but it looks as though illegally. It could have been a handball potentially when the ball went through. I'll just have to look at the replay on that. But it was Hoffenheim's first proper breakthrough, really, of the whole match, to be honest. But he's given, it wasn't a handball, but he's given a foul, which looks a little bit harsh against Schlotterbeck. But whatever it was an important foul because Hoffenheim are away if he didn't do that. But for me, it's not the most clear-cut foul. It looked like a clean challenge, but Hoffenheim are going to have a free kick just inside the Dortmund half. Volk plays it to Akpoguma, who plays a good ball across to Angelino, whips a ball in. It hits. Oh, what happened there? It actually found its man, but he just kind of stood there looking like he didn't know what was going on. I don't know who it was, whether it was Baumgartner, but it was poor attacking play, whatever it was from the Hoffenheim attacker. It was initially a really good play from Angelino to get a good ball in. Akpoguma now on the ball. He's had a decent start the first half an hour, but he loses the ball in the end. Ooh. Again, Wolf there showing some strength to win the ball in a 50-50 in the middle of the pitch. Bino Gittins on the ball, plays it to Wolf, who's going to be able to bring it in. But it hits the defender and goes out for a corner to Dortmund. From what I can see, or are they checking for a handball there as well? Seems though the referee suggesting that he thinks it could have been handball. Oh, it did hit his hand, but it's one of them. Nowadays nobody really knows with handball, do they? It did. Yeah. His hand did come out. I wouldn't be surprised if he gives this, to be honest. It came out just as it was going to go past him. So I don't know. It's one of them that they're always a little bit harsh then, but we'll have to see whether he gives anything. It's against Ozan Kabak. Right? It seems as though the ref's checking the VAR. But, often we do see penalties for these days, don't we? But have you seen that, Rory, yet? What do you think about it if you've seen it?
I have not seen it yet, no. I hope it's coming in this next phase of play.
But still checking it. It was from Wolf, kind of. Yeah. But the thing is, I think the ball just came out. The hand just came out as the ball was going past, which is what makes me think they could give a penalty for this potentially.
It just looks like they're always looking to give penalties with these handballs. But
it seems as though he's got away with it from what I can see. It seems as though he's got away with it. Has he? You never know. He's got away with it. The corner's going to come in now. I think it's fair, really. But, I totally agree with you, Rory, actually. I don't like this modern trend of just giving penalties for absolutely nothing nowadays because, penalties are part of the game, but you don't want to see games decided on super, super soft decisions, do you, Rory, really?
No, and, you see Kabak going to make the block, and he already puts his hands behind his back because he's worried about it already. Yeah. It's already in players' minds when they're going to make defensive situations and blocks. So they can only do so much other than chopping off their own arms. It's just ridiculous. So no, I'm glad that wasn't a penalty. But Dortmund is still looking pretty dangerous. Comments in the chat, definitely a potential. It was an interesting one coming from BC. Be interesting to see what other people's thoughts are. Do you think it should have been a penalty? I don't, but if you disagree with what I or myself or Mark say, please do let us know. It'd be really interesting to see if we're being too kind to Hoffenheim there. And great that you're tuning in from Cape Town, Joe. And we'll get to your question about Dortmund starting 11 in the Champions League in a moment. Sorry, was something happening there, Mark?
No, not so much. But Hoffenheim are just away now. It's but again, good defending from Wolf. There's a lot of players that can really hold their heads up high in this Dortmund side this half. Wolf. I think obviously Brandt have been very, very good. Obviously, even Bino Gittins, he's still a little bit raw. But apart from that miss, I think he's done well. Like he does bring a lot to the team. He brings the ball forward. He's a kind of player that maybe has got the potential to be like a kind of Sancho kind of player in the future with a bit more experience under his belt, and a bit more confidence. But I mean, obviously, he'd have to improve his finishing, that's for sure, based on what we've seen there. But he does look a good player, and he's very, very young. I think, did he come from City as well? I think he did, didn't he?
Quite possibly, yeah. There is another youngster that they signed in the window. Is it Zach Braff? He came from City, so I'm not sure where Bino Gittins is from.
I think he was City. City rings a bell as well, yeah. But I mean, City obviously have one of the best academies in the world. They have so many good young players that could play in pretty much any top team in the world. But obviously, City have got so many good players that they don't need them. That's the thing, So it's yeah. I mean, I guess it's a lot of German fans can't understand why Man City and Chelsea and the like don't give more chances to some of these young talents. But I guess it's just the way it is in the Premier League, isn't it? Like the stakes are so high that it's not worth risking youngsters, I guess, when you can spend 50, 60 million on a new player,
Yeah, absolutely agreed. Just as Hoffenheim were trying to get forward there, but came to nothing. But yeah, a couple of comments come in here. So we'll just quickly go to Joe's question a little bit earlier, asking, how many of this starting 11 will start in the Champions League next week? And good question, to be honest, Joe. Obviously, Dortmund really need to sort out their Champions League form, as in I think they've underachieved in the last couple of seasons, and I think they really need to have a strong start at home against Copenhagen. Is in terms of on paper, it looks like the Dortmund should win, but they're not a bad team, Copenhagen. So I think it will be a really tough game for them. But in terms of going again, what do you reckon, Mark? I mean, it's kind of needs must really with the amount of injuries they have. I'm not sure how many players are maybe due to come back, but it's only on Tuesday, so they haven't got a lot of time to bring players in for it. So I'd say the majority of this team will probably have to go again on Tuesday.
Yeah, I think this is pretty much a first team Dortmund 11 nowadays, really. I think there's only Bino Gittins that probably wouldn't say is a first choice, because as you said, I mean, I thought Sula would come straight into the team, to be honest, but he's not been used at all so far. And he's decided to go with Schlotterbeck and Hummels at that centre-half partnership, which I'll be honest, seems to be working from what I've seen so far this season. Again, the Hoffenheim again robbed there on a halfway line. Now it's Brandt with a great, he's messed up the pass. They're going to go back and book the Hoffenheim man, I would imagine, but it fell to Brandt, and that's probably the first bad thing he's done all match, really. He missed his man when well placed, and now Wolf's made a bit of a mess up as well on the far side. Hoffenheim win it back deep into the Dortmund half. Geiger now on the ball, passes it out to Angelino, who puts one of those crosses in. It looks good. Oh, it's rattled the bar, but it looks as though he's given a foul again. To be fair, Hoffenheim have had a few soft fouls in attack given against them here. It seems though he's given another foul. It's a bit of a soft one, really. I don't know. Dortmund seem to be playing for those fouls, actually, a lot in defence. But it did hit the bar through Kramaric. It was a good effort that hit the bar, but it's been blown up for a foul anyway. So, but it, again, looked a little bit soft to me. I think Dortmund are looking for a few of these fouls, but I expect Akpoguma will probably get booked, although it seems as though he's not. Oh, he's just lost the ball, or is he? Whew. A Dortmund player lost the ball. I think it was Schlotterbeck, but a brilliant recovery tackle. Jeez, yeah, he played the ball out to Hoffenheim. He's literally lost the ball there, the Schlotterbeck to Kramaric, but a great recovery tackle there. It's still a corner for Hoffenheim, but that was a big error from Schlotterbeck there. He could have given a very cheap equaliser away to Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim just getting a bit of confidence back now. They've kind of ridden the storm. And the game's gone very end-to-end again, which might suit Hoffenheim a little bit, obviously, as a team that are losing. Ball comes in, well out, though, again by Hummels. He's had a stormer of a half, he has.
Yeah.
Now.
Yeah,
Did you see that one, Rory?
Yeah, there's some mistakes creeping into Dortmund's game now, aren't there?
Yeah.
Like Marius Wolf kind of messed up a clearance a little bit earlier on as well. So yeah, just maybe a little bit of lost concentration. Dortmund need to get into half time with this lead intact or add to it, really, because you imagine Hoffenheim going to come out in the second half absolutely all guns blazing. just to catch up on a few comments in the chat. For Elaz, asked, is this game going to be over 2.5 goals? You'd imagine so, wouldn't you, the way that is going?
I would think so. It should already be, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it should. Yeah, 100%. Blueprint Music tuning in all the way from Zimbabwe. Amazing stuff. So I hope you're doing well. Brilliant to see that. We've got some people watching from Africa. That's fantastic. BVB fans. So going well for you so far. Hopefully, for your point of view, they can keep going and get a couple more goals. Chris Saunders tuning in. Chris, hope you're doing well. I think there probably are some more Spanish football socials coming with David with Paul quite soon. So yeah, keep your eyes peeled for that. Amit Alexander has asked who's basically the best player in BVB right now. Interesting question. Come to that in a moment, just as we're getting closer to half time, Mark.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's I think good question about who is the best player. I think tonight's been more of a team effort for me. You know, I think they've not got that Haaland anymore. You'd probably say, overall it's probably Bellingham, isn't it? I think there's no question about that. He's not had his best night tonight though, Bellingham. But I think overall you go Bellingham for me as the best BVB player. Royce, obviously, I don't think he's absolute peak Royce nowadays, but he's become more of a team player and like a classic captain kind of player now. And he gets goals when you need him to get goals, you know, and he's obviously absolutely key. If he wasn't in this team, they wouldn't be the same side, that's for sure. But, you know, they do have quite a bit of experience in this Dortmund side now, don't they? Obviously, Hummels looking more like the player he was. Even Meunier, I think he's improved. He's had a good 2022, Meunier. Actually, you know, wasn't always the most popular player for Dortmund, but he had a good end to last season and a solid start to this season as well. I think, you know, they do have experience and not the best Dortmund side I've ever seen. Don't get me wrong. Would you agree with that, Rory? I mean, compared to the sides we've seen that they've had in the last 10 years, you know, this isn't the best, but it's certainly not a bad side.
No. It's not the best side that we've seen for Dortmund for probably a little while, but I think finally they started to address the key issues in the playing squad. For example, the leaky defence. I think they've been a lot more organised so far this season, apart from a really poor display against Werder. I think more questions were asked to the midfield actually in that game, but obviously certainly that, you know, the defence didn't cover themselves in glory. But in general, obviously Soderbeck is a signing that makes a great amount of sense, as does Süle on a free transfer. So that's, you know, a punch that we might see more often as time goes forward. But I think, Dortmund are trying to build. They've always got that pressure, obviously, haven't they, of toppling the giants, you know, the 10-time champions Bayern. So it's almost an unfair pressure that Dortmund always have on their shoulders, isn't it, really? Because why does it always have to be them? Obviously, because other teams just aren't up to the task. So just seeing Bino Gittins went down a little while ago with what, can't even tell what he hurt. Maybe a shoulder, maybe a rib. Going up with a very physical Kabak. We're getting very close to half time. Do we think we'll get another goal before half time, Mark? That is the question. I'm going to predict no, just so that I'm hopefully wrong and we'll get one.
I think in the Bundesliga there's always a chance, but just at the moment it doesn't look like it. I mean, it seems as though Gittins might have to go off. He looks a little bit gutted, but it looks as though Giovanni Reina is being prepared there. Marco Reus winning the ball there, back from Hoffenheim, right on the edge of the area. Oh, well played into the area. Reus shoots! Ooh! Just wide. It looked in at first, to be honest, that one, but it has gone just wide. But good move, actually. Good play from Marco Reus to win the ball back. And Meunier played a really nice, skillful ball in. Great play from back heel from Bellingham to play it into the path of Reus. But it's quite far up wide, really. Probably should have done a little bit better, in truth. Great touch from Bellingham there, though. Probably the best moment from him in the match. Probably should have done a bit better, really, Reus there, because it was a clear shot. A nice kind of bounce for him to just hit it on the kind of half volley. But yeah, he's messed that up big time. But Hoffenheim just now coming on Angelino does well to keep the ball in there, plays it back infield to Geiger, who plays it out wide to Robert Scott, who hasn't had the best half in truth in this game. Doesn't look quite up to the quality to me at times, Robert Scott, at this level. But Hoffenheim with a good little passing move there. I think Angelino's just kept the ball in on the far touchline. At Paguma now into Geiger. Geiger's the most, for me, probably the best player really for Hoffenheim. He's just got such a great touch on the ball, hasn't he? He's a real quality player. It's but they do lose the ball in the end again. It's a bit clumsy, long pass up, and it just bounces off the Hoffenheim player. And now, good play from Vogt again, though, to tackle Marco Reus. And again, the ball comes into Dortmund. It just seems to stick for Dortmund, doesn't it? Now it's Bellingham there, look to be foul, but it's play on. And Wolf is going to swing one in. No, it's going to be Bellingham now on the byline. Hits it, well saved by Baumann. Is it going to, it looks so it was going to dip underneath the bar, but it's not. It's just dipped over the bar, thankfully for Baumann and Hoffenheim there. It was a good initial save, but it went really high up into the air. And it just kind of, I think at first he thinks it's going straight behind. Then Angelino worries and thinks it's going to dip underneath, but it goes just over there. And it's going to be a corner just as we tip over the 45-minute mark. 1 minute added on and a corner for Dortmund from the right-hand side. Great play again from Bellingham. We said he hadn't done that much. Gittins has been substituted, by the way, as well. And
yeah, I was just about to say, for Hazard.
But another chance there from the corner. Headed wide in the end from Hummels. But Thorgan Hazard has come onto the pitch now. But quite a bit of action there. It looks as though it will end up being 1-0 at half-time because we've only got about 30 seconds left.
Yeah, you might as well talk us through to half-time then, Mark, and then we'll go through some of the extra comments that have come into the chat whilst we're on half-time.
Yeah, just Hoffenheim, 20 seconds left on the clock, just Hoffenheim playing it round the back. Now, they'll probably be happy to get in at 1-0 because it's not been their finest 45 minutes of football, and they could easily be, as we said, 2 or 3-0 down in truth. But just a free kick there given against Anthony Modeste, and I would imagine that'll be the end of the first half. Obviously, Brighton Wright is going to have to really get into his team, and I think he might have gone a little bit too attacking. I think that could be the problem, and there's too many, as Rory said earlier, there's too many small players in there. I think someone like I would have started with Sam Soku, to be honest. I think he would have been good for this game. Very, very tough defensive midfielder who could have I do believe that when you're the underdog in a game, you need that kind of tough tackling midfielder to just win the ball for you a bit more and kind of make the game a bit more scrappy. And I just think for Dortmund, it's been pretty much a procession at some points in this game, although they have made a couple of errors at points, and probably a couple of decisions have gone against Hoffenheim too. But I do believe that Dortmund deserve to be winning at halftime. It probably say a fair score would be 2-0. Really, a 2-goal lead would be fair. Would you agree with that, Rory?
Yeah, I mean, they definitely had their chances, haven't they? Just at the end there, it was Hummels who almost got that corner in towards the end, and it was a great save by Baumann actually before obviously to create that corner situation. But half-time it is. So we'll go through some of the match stats in a little while. Just kind of go through some of the comments just before we do that. So Joe has said that obviously the problem with Dortmund is that they keep on losing their best players to rich teams. Yeah, completely agree. It's a tough thing for Dortmund when they kept on seeing the likes of Lewandowski and Goetze, Haaland, etc. Many examples of that in the past of them disappearing for certain fees. But they recruit really well, and they're often having to kind of be in the same situation. So they are pretty much used to it. But they do amazingly well to keep on challenging Bayern. But let's hope they are able to do so this season. They look really good in this half so far, haven't they? Chris has said Royce, insanely good about 10 years ago. That's how long he's been going, really, hasn't it? Amazing player. Thought he would have gone to a bigger club. Fair play for him for staying loyal. I agree with that, Chris. He could have easily moved on a number of times. Bayern, of course, are really interested. But it's just nice to see a bit of loyalty sometimes, isn't it? I mean, we love the transfer market. We get excited by deadline day, but it's just sometimes nice to see a player saying, you know what, it's nice that someone's interested, but I'm staying put. I like the club that I'm at. And many things in between that. Evening, Gavin, tuning in from Guadalajara. Amazing stuff. We've really got a great spread of people watching here tonight. Finished teaching my French class and tuning in. Brilliant stuff, Gavin. Appreciate you tuning in. Hope you're doing really well. Have stars on Modeste, Royce, and Kabak. So mixed results so far. Yeah, I've got Royce, so that's working so far. I mean, if Dortmund keep on playing the same way they are, I'm sure Modeste will get another couple of chances as well. So I just keep on catching up with stuff that's going on. Ben, evening, Ben. Haven't seen you in the comments so far, so I hope you're doing well and enjoying the watch along. Has asked, will we be doing watch-alongs during the World Cup? Interesting question. We haven't really spoken about it too much, to be honest, Ben. We did a little bit of coverage for the Euros a while back, but we'll just have to see how schedules and times go, because I think a lot of the games are going to be during the day, aren't they? In terms of the time difference. So yeah, we'll have to kind of go and see how we get on with that. John, yeah, we'll try and put the score on the ticker as well for you to be able to see. So what we'll do is in a moment we will put up the games for Saturday and Sunday and kind of chat through them a little bit and kind of just do some predictions basically. So you can see below. So Saturday, 3rd of September, so tomorrow, we've got quite a lot of games to get through. Starting off with a biggie, Mark. FC Union Berlin hosting the champions Bayern Munich, who have just obviously dropped points last weekend. And obviously Union, after such an impressive start. What are we thinking for this one? Prediction-wise, could be a really entertaining game. Have Union got what it takes to take points off Bayern?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously the last couple of years since we've been doing the show, they've had mixed results against Bayern, haven't they? I think the first year they were the only side to be unbeaten against Bayern. Actually, that year they got 2-1 all draws, but then last year they had an absolute mare against Bayern. They lost 5-2 at home and 4-0 away. So yeah, I always say though the one problem with Bayern, with when you play Bayern the week after they don't win, is that the record after not winning and then the game after that they almost always win the game. I'd love to see the statistics on that. Like when Bayern drop points the week before, how do they do the week after? I would say their win rate is like 99% or something after that. And for me, it would have been easier for Union to play Bayern if they'd have if they'd have won 4-0 last week, to be honest. Because Bayern know that they can't afford to drop points back-to-back weeks. And I just think that will swing it for Bayern, in my opinion. I just think, it'd be great. I'd absolutely love to see Union turn them over or even get a point off them, but I just don't see it happening simply because of that. I just think Bayern will show a lot of respect to Union Berlin, and we know their record against teams that they respect, and it's quite brutal at times, in truth. I'm going to go for a 3-1 win there, I think, for Bayern. I do think they'll get the job done. What about you, Rory?
I think they probably will get the job done, but I'll go for just maybe a goal close. So I'll go with 2-1, but I can envisage Union causing Bayern a lot of problems. And yeah, you can envisage it being a real test for the champions for sure. Let us know in the comments, what do you think? Bayern going to get an important win on course for maybe title number 11? Let us know. Next game on Saturday afternoon, Leverkusen hosting SC Freiburg. The big games keep on coming. This is a really exciting game, I think. This will be a real good test to see if Leverkusen are back, in inverted commas, after their obviously impressive win away to Mainz, although obviously a couple of those goals were defensive errors, I guess. Can Freiburg keep up their amazing start, Mark? Because just like Union, they've been a breath of fresh air. Continued this season, but a tricky game against the Leverkusen side that you can never, just diminish or say that they won't win.
Yeah, this is possibly one of the hardest ones to tip this weekend. I really can't. I wouldn't be betting on this game, that's for sure, because I think on current form, I'd probably go for Freiburg to get the job done. But I just think that win last week will have given a lot of confidence. And also the fact they signed Hudson-Odoi as well is going to force some of those attackers into kind of sorting themselves out a little bit. I'm not sure if he'll start tomorrow, but I definitely think, I think that my Freiburg are the side that are in the better position at the moment. But yeah, I'm going to go for a draw because I'm going to go down the middle. But both sides don't tend to sit on draws as well. That's one thing I've noticed. So both sides like to push for the late winners as well if the level. So I don't think either team would settle for a point, which says a lot about how far Freiburg have come, really, doesn't it? But Christian Streit likes the W, so to speak. He likes wins, and he doesn't think much of draws, let's say that much. So I'm going to go for a draw, but I wouldn't be surprised to see a late winner either way in this one.
Yeah, I'm tempted to say draw. If Freiburg took their chances last week in that game against Bochum, they could have been out of sight within half an hour. So if they're a little bit more clinical, then I think they've got a great chance of winning. To be honest, I'll call it a draw though. I'll go 2-2. Next game on Saturday, huge game for both sides really. So VfB Stuttgart, my boys, take on FC Schalke at home. Hence why Runa was telling us in yesterday's show, maybe pop in a couple of Stuttgart players. But yeah, Stuttgart haven't been bad this season. It's just that unlike Freiburg, they don't like the W because they've just found ways to not win. In effect, they should have. Against Werder, it was a game of two halves. They were very much the better side in the second half, and then obviously had the win stolen away from them. Against Cologne, until the red card, they were by far and away the better side, and should have been 2-0 up. A couple of real big chances for Silas, and Schalke obviously are off the back of a really big beating by Union. So. Yeah, at home, I'd like to think that Stuttgart will be dead up for it. New signing come in the striking department, so maybe to partner Silas. I'd like to say that Stuttgart will win, but I can never be confident. What are you saying, Mark?
Yeah, again, this is a tough one, but I just think Stuttgart, as you said, they've just forgotten how to win, and the loss of Kalajdzic is going to be absolutely massive because he hadn't scored many goals this season, but he was looking back to his best in terms of creating chances, and and again Sousa as well. For me, it's a big question mark. How's his attitude going to be? Because I would imagine he would have wanted to move. Looking at some of the clubs that were coming in for him, the likes of Inter Milan. You'd much rather be playing for them with all due respect than fighting for your life with Stuttgart in the Bundesliga, and I just think maybe he will be a bit sick for a few weeks that he's not got his move. And also the fact that his beloved partner, obviously Kalajdzic, who was just supplying assist after assist 2 seasons ago wasn't he? So, whether he's going to, and to be honest, he wasn't his best the back end of last season, I didn't think, and I'm not sure we're going to, I'm actually going to go for a shock in this one. I'm going to go for a shock 1-0 win for Schalke. I'm sorry to say it, Rory, but I just think Schalke, they're not the best team, but they fight, they really do fight. And this is the kind of game they might think, maybe we can just nick a win. And I'm going to go for them to nick a famous 1-0 win in this one.
I hate it when you say that.
I go against Stuttgart almost every week these days.
No, it's probably the safe thing to do, isn't it? Evening, Ballum. Haven't seen you in the comments so far, so I hope you're doing well. Regular viewer of ours said, want to come in and say that Mark for Bayer Leverkusen next manager. So you heard it here first. Typing them up at the start of the season. I think I was as well, to be fair. Rory, are Stuttgart in danger of bottom 2 or not yet? World Cup break very soon. I think Stuttgart are in danger. The only thing that kind of gives me a little bit of not relief, but more confidence is the fact that Bochum and Schalke both look really, really vulnerable in terms of teams that would go straight down. And then a couple of other teams will be really in the mix from there on in. Augsburg, Werder, Hertha, and Stuttgart, I think. We'll all be in around that kind of number. So only time will tell. But they're certainly, they are in danger in effect. I think it's fair to say. Dortmund and Leipzig need to win this week. Can Union get something? We shall see. Yeah, absolutely agree, Ballum. They need some big wins as well. So another Saturday game. Speaking of teams that are indeed struggling, so VfL Bochum host Werder Bremen. So yeah, again, really, really big games. Some cracking games this weekend in terms of like the dynamic of the table, really. So Mark, what do you reckon? Bochum obviously have been torn apart, as we've mentioned, from the transfer market kind of point of view. But they did okay on Friday night against Freiburg. Obviously, the scoreline flattered them a little bit, but they did hit the woodwork twice. Holtman was really good again. Well, half decent at the very least. But Werder have been scoring goals, so if Bochum can't get themselves a couple, then they'll be struggling.
Yeah, I think Werder have been like the complete polar opposite of what people thought they'd be. You know, they've had 20 goals involved in 4 games so far, which is just insane, literally. Like, but I mean, for me, Werder, I've still not made my mind up on them yet. I think they'll be happy with the start, absolutely prove that they can compete again at Bundesliga level. But at the end of the day, they've only got 1 win from those 4 games, which was that crazy result at Dortmund. This is a game that, for me, for Bochum, this is an absolute must-win, really. The next 2 games, they've got Werder and Schalke. They need at least 4 points, ideally 2 wins, really, from those games, really, for me. And I'm actually going to go for Bochum to nick a win. I think it's going to be a lower scoring one, this one. I think often when you get 2 teams down at the bottom, the games become a bit more scrappy, even though I think Werder have been playing some good football. I'm going to go just for a 1-0 win for Bochum in this one. I think they'll prioritise keeping the clean sheet, but I think they can just nick a goal. They've got a bit more Bundesliga experience in the ranks. And I'm just going to go for a kind of, I think it'll be a scrappy game, to be honest, even though Werder have been playing some good football so far. I just think the pressure might get to them a bit in this game and they'll lose 1-0. That'll be my prediction there.
I'll go with the draw. I think I'll go 1-1. I think I can't see Bochum getting the W just yet. I'm sure they'll be heavily backed by the home support, but I think they'll still struggle. In that one, so another Saturday game, the so far fairly underwhelming Wolfsburg host again the fairly underwhelming FC Cologne, Mark. So great chance for either team to really kickstart their season. Not really worked yet so far for Niko Kovac. So yeah, what are we saying about this one? Do you think they'll maybe get their season off to a good start finally?
Yeah, for me, their problem is the fact that, like, I think Kohlfeld, I didn't think he did well at Wolfsburg, but one thing he did well is he formed that great partnership between Wind and Kruse, didn't he? And I just cannot understand for the life of me why Kruse has been dropped, because, I mean, the guy had been so good for 2 years at Bundesliga level. He gets goals, he knows the league inside out, and in the end, it turned out that he wanted to move at the end of the window, and I just think it's poor from Kovac to be kind of like leaving him out. I know he likes Nemecha and I know he likes to play the pressing game, and apparently Kruse doesn't want to play that, but I don't like the way Kovac is lining up at the moment. And I just think, obviously, he's not starting his best 11 as far as I'm concerned. I actually see Köln getting a win in this game at the moment. I think you're maybe being a bit harsh saying they've been underwhelming, because they are unbeaten after 4 games, you know. And I think, they were underwhelming against Stuttgart. That was the worst performance last week for sure. But I think you got to remember they beat Schalke and then they got very credible draws away in Leipzig and Frankfurt, you know, European team, Champions League teams. So I would say, they were poor last week against Stuttgart and they should have lost that game. But I see them bouncing back with I'm going to go for a 2-1 win for Köln in this one.
Okay, yeah, good stuff. I will go. Oh, I don't want to have to go for another draw, but I think I'm edging towards it. Yeah, Wolfsburg have struggled without Wind, haven't they? He's been a big miss so far this season. Oh, crikey! I might go 2-1 Köln then. That'll be an interesting game for sure. Just quickly then, before we get into the second half, Friday night football again, pretty tasty. Frankfurt hosting Leipzig. Frankfurt just starting to get themselves going, I think. And Leipzig, good win in midweek, but obviously against the lower league side. Can't quite get the right mix of Werner, Silva, and Nkunku together. I'll go with a 2-2 draw for this one. I think it'll be an exciting game.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this one, that's for sure. It's been a great weekend of fixtures because there's so many teams that expect to be in similar parts of the league playing each other this week, which is, a lot of teams at the bottom playing each other in mid-table, and then these two sides will be looking for like Champions League or even title aspirations, really. I think both sides had the first wins last week, which really sets up this game nicely. Yeah, I think it's a tough one, but I'm actually going to go for another. I've gone for a few shocks this weekend. I'm going to go for a Frankfurt win. I just think Leipzig haven't looked quite themselves, and I thought Frankfurt were really good last week against Werder. I was really impressed with them, especially in attack, which is the main way they needed to improve for me. But yeah, I'm going to go for I think Leipzig will probably have most of the chances, but I see Frankfurt putting a couple away and Trapp having a big game in this one for a 2-1 win for the home side.
Good stuff. And then, 2 Sunday games that we've got on our hands. Where are we? So, FC Augsburg taking on Hertha Berlin, I believe. Again, big game for both sides at the wrong end of the table currently. Hertha have had a really bad start in terms of the fixtures they've been given. That's what I'm trying to say. So, it's been tricky for them to get points. So, great opportunity for them. I'll go 2-1 Hertha in this one. Not based off a lot, but Hertha haven't been too bad. I think they've just been quite unlucky with the teams that they've come up against so far.
Yeah, this is a tough one to predict because I agree. I don't think Hertha, apart from the first game against Union where they were just outclassed, I think the last 3 performances have been good, especially defensively, which is not typical really, is it, for Hertha? But only 3 goals conceded in 3 games is very good going as far as they're concerned. I mean, it's a long trip, that's for sure, from Hertha from Berlin to Augsburg. But I actually agree. I'm going to go for 1-0. I don't think it will be like the best game of football because both sides know they need the win. As I say, often these games when it's 2 teams that are fighting for their lives, even at this stage, they become a little bit scrappy, and I'm going to go for a 1-0 win for Hertha in this one. Sorry to Augsburg because we always seem to tip against them, don't we?
I don't know. We've seen obviously Ricardo Pepi go off on loan as well, so that's obviously a big transfer. That's not really worked for them, unfortunately.
They're a funny one. Just one more point on Augsburg. They're a funny one because you look at them and you think, how can they win games at this level? But they do win games. That's the thing. They're not a bad side, really. They've already beaten Leverkusen this season, but they're just the kind of side that you never really want to bet on because you sometimes think where the goal's coming from. But sometimes at home, they can be a good side,
100%. The game is underway, so we'll go into that in a second. Mark, keep us updated for any big chances.
Still not much has happened in the second half so far, really.
Yeah, brill. Last game of the weekend is going to be Gladbach-Mainz. Can Gladbach continue their impressive start? Can Mainz make it 3 away wins from 3? I think it is. Obviously, after their shock home loss, really, to Leverkusen. Interesting one. I will go for a 2-1 home win. I think Gladbach will continue their really good start. I think Mainz might just be ousted in this one.
Yeah, I would go for a similar, probably, 2-1 or 3-1 to Gladbach. I've liked the look of Gladbach so far under Farke. And I think it's more a case that they've just been working harder for each other. And I just think, Mainz will be fine this season, but I just think it's a tough task on a Sunday evening to go to Gladbach. And I'm going to go for I'll say 3-1 Gladbach.
Lovely stuff. So, looking forward to all the games coming up this weekend, but our focus now very much back on the second half of Borussia Dortmund at home to Hoffenheim. Winner takes all in the sense of whoever wins goes top of the Bundesliga. So definitely a big chance for either side here. It'd be great for Hoffenheim to go top of the table after five games this season. Plenty of support, of course, for Dortmund as well at home in front of their fans. Front of the yellow wall. A bit of support in the chat as well from BC saying, come on, Dortmund want 3 more. I don't know if that's 3 more points or 3 more goals. Who knows? Could have both. Fingers crossed. Just getting settled into the second half then, Mark. And just kind of getting into a pattern of play.
Yeah, Julian Brandt, again, looking industrious. He had a good chance to get a good ball in, but it was well defended. He just kind of overran the touch and it went out for a corner, which has since been cleared. Yeah, Hoffenheim look relatively confident again. They look to have kind of regrouped. Similar pattern, really, from what we saw. There's obviously almost 6 minutes on the clock in the second half, but similar kind of pattern, really. Hoffenheim just struggling to get that much of the ball, and they're giving away a lot of free kicks too. Like the tackling just doesn't seem right at the moment. They're giving too many free kicks away. They did make a few subs, by the way, that we've not mentioned in the. So Robert Skov was replaced for Kadabarek at attacking fullback. Then Rudy came on for Baumgartner and Damar came on for Geiger. I'm a little bit surprised to see that Geiger went off, to be honest. I mean, I didn't think he was that bad in the first half. Not his finest 45 minutes, but that one seems a little bit odd to me. Are you a bit surprised to see that one, Rory, that Geiger's gone off?
Yeah, it's usually the heartbeat of that team, to be honest, and is usually a bit of an unsung hero. And he's not often substituted, so bit of a surprise. Just as Hoffenheim almost away there, but some good scrapping defense by I think it might have been Hummels to start with, and then Bellingham. What have you rated so far about Salih Özcan in that midfield, Mark? I think he obviously finally getting a chance because of the injury to Dahoud, but a kind of a signing that made a great amount of sense to me.
And just watching there, the first big chance for Hoffenheim in this match, really. Actually, it was Ruta, well found there. He was just onside as well. Oh, he should have probably put it on target, really, but he puts it just wide. Jorginho Ruta with Hoffenheim's first big chance of this match, really. But going back to Özcan, he's one of those players, he's kind of like the invisible hero, really, isn't he? I mean, he's one of those players that you often, if you don't really understand football, you think, okay, he's not what's so good about this guy, but he's the kind of guy that's always like tackling at the heels. He's always winning the ball back. And he's done that quite well in this game. And, he is the more defensive minded of the midfielders. And I just think, he's been a real good player at the start. We saw him just before, with winning a niggling foul against the Hoffenheim midfielder. He's going to have a tougher time. I think Sebastian Rudy is quite a tough customer as well in midfield, which is maybe why they brought him on. I don't know that much about Mohamed Damar. Do you, Rory? Do you know much about him, the player that Hoffenheim have brought on there?
No, not an awful lot, actually. So it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. But I mean, obviously they felt the need to ring the changes a little bit, get a bit, get some fresh legs on, create a different maybe formation to what obviously we've got on screen right now. So we'll try and see if we can spot any kind of different formation or tactic that Hoffenheim are employing. As Joe's alluded to, it might be a tactical change to see how they can get forward. BC said they wants goals and points, of course, and Ballum has added that just wants to see a title race in the Bundesliga, even if it's Leipzig that win the league. That's how desperate we are as Bundesliga fans to see someone different at the top of the tree. Good for them that they got Gvardiol to sign an extension. Even if he doesn't stay that long, at least it'll add more value. But it's important that he at least stays maybe until January, because I know Chelsea will go back in hard for him. Almost 8-10 minutes into the second half, as Dortmund are trying to get their second goal, or Hoffenheim can try and get themselves back into it, as they're kind of just, at the moment, for me at least, Hoffenheim just trying to build up, playing a nice diagonal ball there to the right fullback, but the cross is rather overhit. That was a good, half decent effort by Kramaric there.
First shot on target as well, that one.
Not too bad, but easy for such a good goalkeeper like Gregor Kobel. So that's meat and drink to him. It'd be interesting to see as the game goes on how the two different teams approach the game. Hoffenheim having a decent little spell here, Mark.
Yeah, they look improved so far. Rudy looks really fired up. Just some more good defending from him there against Brand. Yeah, I guess Dortmund might be kind of dwelling on the fact they didn't put the game to bed because Hoffenheim just didn't really turn up in that first half. I saw the stats and they only had one shot off target in the whole half, which is not typical for Hoffenheim, is it? But I think we'll see them go for it. I think they will just go for it in this half, but it could open up a little bit more and we could see more goals for both sides potentially. I think Kramaric, I think Ruta will be a bit disappointed with his effort before. I think he should probably have put that on target, really. He had space and, he was found well he was onside, but he was in acres of space, like right in front of the goal, really, for Hoffenheim, but he didn't play that well. He's a player that I rate, Jorginho Ruta, as well. I do like him as a player, and I think he's going to improve more and more as he is. I think he's only like 18, 19 even now, so he's going to be a real good young prospect for Hoffenheim, but didn't hit that shot particularly well at all. But now, it seems that what's going on here, there's an argument. Rudy's fuming about something. He's worked his way into the book as well. What's going on? Rudy has added a bit of kind of edge to this Hoffenheim side, but he's going to get himself into the book already. I didn't see exactly what happened there, but something strange gone on. He seems really angry about something. Looks as though he's going to get booked, but maybe the referee has seen something and he's going to check with the VAR. But something's made him absolutely livid there, Rudy. I didn't quite see. But let's have a look at that. He's been booked because of his reaction, it seems as though Bellingham there's 3 players gone into the book by the look of it there. I think Vogt and Bellingham and Rudy have all gone into the book, but I don't know why. It just seemed like a bit of a hustle and bustle, really, there. I think Royce kind of threw him to the ground, and 3 players have ended up being booked over that. I think Rudy was just annoyed because he kind of got thrown to the ground a little bit by Royce, but it didn't seem that much in it, really. But I think Vogt and Bellingham have been booked for their reactions in the kind of melee that ensued. But what did you make of that one, Rory?
Just I guess kind of something out of nothing, really. Maybe Hoffenheim getting a bit frustrated. I mean, honestly, I think Rudy's completely overreacted. That's that's going to happen unless I haven't seen Rudy's in kind of trying to indicate that there was a kick. I don't know, but
it doesn't look much in it to me at all.
Nah, not really. I don't know why Bellingham's getting involved. No need for him to get involved in that. But yeah, referee has seen fit to get lots more players into the book.
Free kick right on the edge of the area for Hoffenheim here. Some good play, keeping the ball alive.
Good stuff.
They've not had that many decisions here, Hoffenheim, that gone the way, but that was one that did. And it's actually, it looks like a foul. Wolf has been brought down. Wolf brought down Prömel, who was bursting forward. He's fuming as well now, but Hoffenheim have got a really, really good opportunity. A free kick right on the edge of the area. A little bit left from centre as well, so they've got a little bit of angle on it. Is it Baumgartner that's standing over it? No, it's Kramaric, of course. Kramaric and Angelino are the players that are standing over it. So, we'll have to see what happens here, but this is a big chance for the away side. We know that Kramaric has got that quality on the ball, and I would imagine it will be him who takes it. First big chance from a set play from Hoffenheim is Dortmund have done well to kind of keep Hoffenheim away from these kind of positions, but it looks like Kramaric is going to do it. Angelino is still there over it, but he looks the more likely one to hit it. It's just about to be taken. The referee is blown his whistle. It's going to be taking the time. Kramaric to step up. It's garbage. Way over the bar. It's one of those kind of pointless free kicks where he just doesn't even... It looks though it's too close for him, really. It might have been better, actually, for Angelino because he's got that kind of more sweeping delivery, hasn't he? But it was a poor effort, that. But first big chance from a set play from Hoffenheim there.
Yeah, good stuff. Angel Castillo has said that he reckons it will be a 1-1 draw. Good chance if Hoffenheim keep on working themselves back into it. But Dortmund might well rue all those chances that they missed early on in the first half. Just as we're getting into about an hour gone so far. On Friday night football in the Bundesliga, Dortmund at home to Hoffenheim, currently going top of the Bundesliga, Dortmund in front of their home fans. So they'll be very pleased with that if they can hold on, but still loads of football to be played. And I'm very sure we can get loads more goals here on our watch along this evening. Hope everyone is tuning in with us, is doing really well this evening. Looking forward to a nice weekend of German football and anything else that you might be getting up to. If you're new to the channel, if you just kind of come along and seen us, please do press the red button and subscribe. And yeah, drop the video a like as well. That'd be fantastic. But hope you're enjoying the game as we're getting into the business end of this match up tonight. And Kramaric will hope that free kick was just a little warm up for the rest of the game, and maybe that he can get himself a goal later on. But yeah, anything else that you've seen so far, Mark, in terms of a tactical difference from Hoffenheim in terms of trying to get themselves into this game?
Yeah, they've just looked a lot better, haven't they? I mean, the fact they've already had I can check, but they've had 5 shots in the second half compared to just 1, and it's only 16 minutes into the half. 2 of them on target. They have had probably 2 big not big chances, but they were like decent, like more than half chances. Let's say that much. Especially the one from Ruta, and then the free kick. Usually you should be putting the ball on the target from that distance, I would say, but. Hoffenheim are doing a lot better. They're getting more possession. They've actually had 45% possession in the game, which is decent away at Dortmund, to be honest. And they are getting more and more. Actually, a good pass in there as well to, chance. Oh, he's just headed it over for a corner. Well defended there, though. Good ball coming in from the side. It's actually that man Damar who gets his head onto it, but his header is diverted. Great ball in from Kadabarek as well, who was his substitute partner. It would have gone on target, but it was well defended by Meunier. It would have gone on target at that one as well. It looked like it would have possibly even tested the goalkeeper. But now it's going to be a corner from Angelino. More good play again from Hoffenheim, who are really improving in this game now. But terrible corner, though, from Angelino. Sometimes the delivery on those set plays has to be better, and it's not been good enough from Angelino from corners in this game. But yeah, it's all looking good for Hoffenheim at the moment. That means that probably the next Dortmund goal's coming soon, doesn't it? That's what it often happens when a team, that's been playing that well gets the run, then usually it's the other team that score, isn't it? But Hoffenheim definitely looking more likely now to get something out of the game than they've done the whole match, to be honest. And that was unlucky, really. It was a great ball in from Kadabarek, and Damar got his header on it well, but it was good defending from Meunier, as I say. Another player who's had a very solid game tonight, Meunier. What have you seen that one, Rory? What did you make of it?
Sorry, what's this? The chance for
Kadabarek, yeah, and then the kind of header that was deflected.
Yeah, just seeing it now, actually. Yeah, they're getting forward well. I think they're dealing really well. Hoffenheim with Modeste. He doesn't seem to have really had a touch so far this half. Lost it a little bit earlier on as well. So, yeah, they're just struggling, Dortmund, to get their foot on it. They are doing their best to kind of knock it around the back, but then they're kind of running out of options and having to go long. And it's being kind of gobbled up by the Hoffenheim defence. But, yeah, if Hoffenheim can get their set pieces on point, then they'll be a lot more dangerous. But at the moment, that's just what's letting them down, isn't it?
Yeah, it wasn't good enough, that ball in from Angelino. Like, in my opinion, football, a lot of it is to do with, like, you got to score when you're on top, and like a corner it's a good chance, especially in the Bundesliga when the defense is not exactly world class at times. You've got to be beating your first man, and he didn't manage to do it there. Obviously, the effort from Kramaric too was substandard from the free kick, but Dortmund still managing the game relatively well. They've just a poor challenge there as well from Kabak. Yeah, he does have that in him to go for a really rash challenge. He's got booked now as well, which I think is 4 yellow cards for Hoffenheim in this game, 3 in the second half. So it proves that Brighton Wrights really got into them in that half, and he wants more passion and whatever. But you've got to kind of curb that. I wouldn't be surprised to see a Hoffenheim red card at some stage in this match as well. For some reason, they seem a little bit cheesed off about some of the decisions that went against them in that first half. I wouldn't say there were any major decisions, but there were a few free kicks for Dortmund, which maybe they think shouldn't have been. But it is actually going to be a corner as well now for Hoffenheim. It's a good defending from Bellingham there. Again, the ball was lost, actually, and great pressing from Ruta, and he was just onside, and the ball came in, and it was well defended by. But it's another corner now we're seeing come in. I think it's going to be Angelino again, is it? Ball comes in. No, it's Kadabarek. It's better this time, but still well headed out again by Modeste. One thing that Dortmund have improved on, they're really defending these corners better. You know, Modeste, that is one big thing that Modeste offers, actually. His defense on corners is really, really good. Really, really good. It's so yeah, still 1-0, almost 66 minutes on the clock. Rory, do you expect to see many more goals or the change in the result from what we're seeing at the moment?
Well, I think that both teams are kind of just sparring at the moment, aren't they? And I think we'll get a big push from 70 odd minutes onwards. Surely Hoffenheim will go to the bench again. Be interesting to see if Terzic sticks or twists. Why are we going to see Dortmund try and play a different way? But you kind of just feel like we're waiting for Dortmund just to kind of make a mistake, really, or for Hoffenheim to score, and then the match might get lit up even more.
What a double save there from Baumann, which could have ended the tie effectively. They've lost the ball again, though, in the midfield. Oh, jeez, yeah. Yeah, Hoffenheim had a bit of a dodgy moment there, and Baumann is a very good goalkeeper, actually. He's had another good game tonight. He's saved them twice there. Brilliant reaction. The first save was good, but then he came flying out to deny. I think it was Modeste, who had like a free shot from just outside the area on the volley, but it was a great piece of goalkeeping from Baumann. But 2 shots on target there for BVB, and again, you know, I wouldn't say they should have scored, but because both were good saves from what I could see. I haven't seen the replay yet, but, you know, really good piece of play there from Baumann to deny. I don't know who had the first shot, but I think the second one was definitely Modeste, and it was well blocked. You're just waiting to see the replay on that as well. BVB just at the moment are knocking the ball round the back, you know, looking a little bit more confident again now after riding that little storm from the TSG. And yeah, for me, the game will really open up in this last 23 minutes. I think in German football, you don't see teams just like defending when they're behind, do you, really? So I think TSG are going to really just go all out to try and get a point or even more in some cases. But that might suit BVB in the long run. But Wolf at the moment on the ball plays a really good ball out there to the wing. Oh, he puts a cross in, and Modeste heads it over again. Not at his best night tonight in front of goal, that's for sure, Modeste. He is claiming again. Oh, no, it was Bellingham, sorry. My all due respect there to it was Meunier with another good ball in, who's been really good tonight, and Bellingham heads over. Just showing the replay now on this chance. It was really good football from Dortmund to go through to the initial chance was Royce, and then, yeah, it was saved. The first chance was Hazard, actually, and then the second one was Modeste. Yeah, 2 good saves there from Baumann. But yeah, Hoffenheim getting run a bit ragged again the last 2 or 3 minutes, and as Dortmund look to get back on top in the game.
Yeah, just as I was saying before that double save came up, I'm wondering if Dortmund will kind of change the way that they're playing and maybe get the likes of Mukoku on, maybe for Modeste, but obviously they do need that physical presence, I guess, up top. So whether they'll just make some subs and change their shape instead to bring on him or Gio Reyna, perhaps. Obviously, we know that Thorgan Hazard's already on. Haven't really mentioned him much, have we, Mark?
Obviously, no, not at all. He's not done much at all, really, since
coming in. So, yeah, be interesting to see if Hazard can get himself into the game because he's obviously a talented footballer, but we just don't see it on a regular occasion often enough right now. So, yeah, about 20 minutes to go in the Friday night game, fixture between Dortmund and Hoffenheim. Make sure you smash a like on the video, please, guys. Even if tonight's game hasn't sparkled as much as we might have hoped, there's certainly been loads of chances for Dortmund. I think them on another day would have scored 3 or 4 goals. So maybe we're just an unlucky presence on Friday night. But we usually bring quite a lot of goals in our watch along. So I'm confident we'll get a load more tonight. And Elaz, hopefully we'll get you that over 2.5 goals to win you your ticket. I hope you're not overly relying on that. But yeah, the goals I'm hoping will come as the game gets into the last quarter. So what would you do, Mark, if you were, maybe if you were Hoffenheim, would you go to the bench, now rather than later and just start throwing on a few more attacking players, perhaps?
Yeah, they've just done exactly that, actually. Yeah, Prömel's gone off and Dabur has come on. Yeah, we don't see that much of Dabur these days, do we? But he is a player that is capable of getting a goal on his day. Another one of the, I think a lot of Hoffenheim's attacking players are quite streaky, aren't they? If he's on his day, he can be a good player, but, he's not consistent by any means. But he's just been thrown on for Grisha Prömel. They did have a free kick as well just a couple of minutes ago, which was really, again, not a good delivery. And it's just, yeah, they've just got a free kick for offside there on against Dortmund. But yeah, they did have a free kick in a decent position again just then, Hoffenheim, but it just wasn't to be. And, they'll probably kind of rue the fact that they haven't put in really a single decent delivery from a corner or a free kick so far this evening. And, you do need to do that if you want to beat the likes of Dortmund, because Dortmund can be frail in those kind of situations. But Hoffenheim will still feel they have a chance. They have gone for it. Dabur is a striker, really. So, they have thrown on that striker, which I did expect they would do, because German teams pretty much always do it when they're losing, really. They don't wait to kind of the last 5 minutes like they do in some leagues. But, yeah, we're going to see. I would imagine, I'd be very surprised if this finished 1-0. I'd expect to see at least one more goal either way, probably even two, to be honest, because that often happens in these games. It has been quite a tactical game, this one, at times. And I think, Dortmund have shown that they have that side to the game, because for me, Dortmund have always been a side that they have the mentality that we're going to score more than you, basically, and this season it could be a little bit different, which is maybe to show that they are maturing tactically a little bit. But at the same time, we kind of missed the days when they were playing 4-3s pretty much every weekend. But who knows? It could give them more chance of winning the league, because, they do seem to have, the way I see it, what I've seen today, they do have better game management. But at the same time, that they're not quite as clinical, are they? I mean, they should have had more than one goal tonight. There's no question about that. I would imagine their XGs is at least 3.5, maybe even close to 4, to be honest with you, after some of the chances that they've missed. I can check that for you, actually, the XGs. Do you have it? No, it's 2.5, actually. I'm not that up to scratch on that, but it's a lot higher. It's 2.05 compared to 0.5 for Hoffenheim. But I often think that XGs, they don't always tell the whole story, do they, really? Because they missed 2 or 3 sitters, really, tonight, Dortmund, in truth. But yeah, it's, Modeste is going to have to start being more prolific if he is going to become like a respected player at Dortmund. Yeah. Well, what have you made of Modeste tonight, Rory? Do you think he's been decent or underwhelming?
He's just been on the periphery a bit, I guess. Obviously, he's got on to those good crosses where they've come in, but yeah, he's not linked the play brilliantly. Obviously, he did that really good cross for Bino Gittins earlier on in the first half, so he's obviously got quality on the ball when he has it. But I think Hoffenheim have defended him relatively okay. But so far he's not been prolific. But I'm sure if Dortmund are going to have to learn how to play with him because of the Haller situation and some injuries, then if they learn how to scrap 1-0 wins, then, that's not a problem at all. 3 points is 3 points. So, yeah, time will tell. But I think, a lot of the Dortmund players further forward have been, not on their A game completely. So, as we barely mentioned, Hazard. Royce has been, obviously, got the goal, but been in and out of the game as well, just as Hoffenheim. Trying to bring the ball forward here with about 15 minutes to go, plus added on time. Well, what can we get in terms of goals and action? Hopefully we start to see them go forwards, just as Angelino delivered a really dangerous ball, but again, just not quite accurate enough. Definitely quite a lot of delivery issues that have gone awry for TSG. You've been disappointed with Hoffenheim tonight, Mark? I think we were expecting a little bit more, I think, especially the way they lined up. Just kind of thought that they might have given it a slightly better go or been a bit more clinical, I guess.
Yeah, I think first half they were very poor, to be honest. Yeah, but I think second half they've shown that they can play, but Yeah, there's certain things that they've not done well tonight. I've been disappointed with Angelino. I really have, because I was looking forward to seeing him play, and I think he made a good start to his Hoffenheim. Although they are breaking away here. Oh, this is terrible ball, though, but it's still going to be kept alive by Angelino. They had a breakaway there again. They just met. It's just been that attack just hasn't been there, and that sums it up. You'll see that in a minute, Rory. I mean, I think they had a 4 against 3 there, and initially it was a poor ball to Angelino, and then Angelino just, again, his crossing just hasn't been up to scratch at times tonight, and he just hits the first man, and it ends up breaking down without even like a chance. It's but I don't think they've been really poor, because at the end of the day, they've kept BVB to a relatively low number of chances. But I say that, BVB are a side that create chances in every game, every single game, no matter who they play, whether it's Bayern, Leipzig, it doesn't matter. They always create chances, just whether they put them away, really. But I wouldn't say tonight BVB have had bags and bags of chances, although Hummels has just made his way into the book now after a pretty reckless challenge from behind. Will be interesting to see how they cope here, because TSG, they have been a lot better in this second half, and they will think we can get a point from this. They'll know that they're lucky really to still be in the game, because as I said, Dortmund should have at least 2 or 3. But at the end of the day, they are at 1-0. And Jorginho Ruta is starting to get a little bit more play. He's a player that can do 90 minutes nowadays. And I think, they've only got one more substitute left, and there's not that much they can bring off the bench now. I guess Larson is probably the only player on the bench now you'd say is likely to come on. Maybe Stiller, but not that likely. I would say Larson, if they are going to make one more sub, it'll be him. Yeah, I think I'm quite interested to see how Dortmund deal with this last 13 minutes, though, because, they are a side that have been maligned, really, for the game management at times. And this is a game that if they win this, they're going to go top, with Bayern Munich going to Union Berlin, which is a really hard game, as we know. So this is an opportunity for Dortmund, and it'll be interesting to see if they can see this game out.
Yeah, completely agreed. Certainly been a good amount of yellow cards and tasty challenges tonight, haven't there?
Yeah.
Hummel's the latest person into the book. Although I don't think it was overly nasty, but probably worthy of a yellow card. And Hummel's very rightly going over to Ruta and apologising for his tackle. So, what can we get in the last 13, 12 minutes of tonight's game? Really praying for some more goals. So you guys tuning in. So really appreciate everyone sticking with us tonight. And appreciate the support and the chat that's been coming in. Really enjoying it. Just talking with all you guys in general. So let's hope that we can reward you all with a couple of goals before the end of tonight. Do make sure that you smash a like on the video tonight if you just enjoyed mine and Mark's general chit chat, taking you through tonight's game and Mark's brilliant commentary. And of course, do make sure that you subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any future shows or indeed watch-alongs. We've got some plans in place for, as a few people in the chat have mentioned, some more Derby Day dive-ins, obviously all the regular stuff, fantasy football, all the Monday shows that we're doing, as well as hopefully doing some European watch-alongs, which should be very tasty. Looking forward to doing those in the coming weeks and months as well. The calendar is so stacked, so me and Mark are going to be incredibly busy, probably doing at least 2 shows a week, if not 3, sometimes 4. So we're doing what we can for you guys. So I hope you enjoy it all in terms of what we're bringing you. Anything to report, Mark, whilst I was waffling on just there?
Yeah, Kramaric has just gone into the book now. And again, it seems to be one that a few of them are going against Hoffenheim. I can understand. You can feel the frustration that Dortmund, it seems to be something that maybe Terzic is telling the players to do. He's telling them to go down a little bit harder than what Dortmund sides in the past have done. And there was a bit of an arm, Kramaric went on a really good run past a few players. And all of a sudden, next thing the ref blows for a free kick. And you're thinking, why? To Dortmund. And it turns out there's just been a little bit of a flailing arm, but not much. But the Dortmund player, I think it was Özcan, actually went down, been shot, basically. And he's won a free kick and also a booking for Kramaric. I think that's 5 or 6 bookings now for Hoffenheim, isn't it? So,
yeah, it is, yeah.
They've definitely done the nice work on that. Anyone looking for yellow card booking is going to have is going to have had a good night tonight, that's for sure.
Yeah.
But yeah,
Absolutely.
Hoffenheim, they still seem fired up. I think the bringing on Rudy at halftime has been a really good decision. He's added that fire to them, and he really has got, he's that kind of player, isn't he? He knows how to wind up the opposition, and he's done that a little bit at times. And he's probably also winded up some of his teammates as well by the look of it. But Hoffenheim are still in this game. We're over 80 minutes now, about 80 and a half minutes on the clock. And Hoffenheim is still in this, and they know that it just takes that one mistake from Dortmund or that one moment of brilliance. Although Dortmund are coming here, they've got Royce on the ball now and Brandt on the far side. This is a chance to seal the game, although he's overran it there. That was more like the bad side of Brandt, really, because he's really messed up that chance. Ran into Kabak and comfortably cleared by Hoffenheim, who now have possession on the halfway line. Again, they've been a little bit better in possession this second half as well, Hoffenheim. A nice little ball in there. Good football now. It's going to come to Kadabarek, who's going to have a bit of space on the far side, who swings the ball in. Swung it in too early for me, though. He should have taken a touch there, and it's easily cleared by the home side. But Kabak does well to get the ball back, and Kadabarek again has the ball on that side. Needs to take his time a little bit more, though. And now it's going to be a throw-in for Hoffenheim well into the Dortmund half. You can see a few nervous faces in that Dortmund crowd at the moment. They know that their side are not the best at dealing with this kind of situation, are they? But it looks as though Giovanni Reyna's being prepped as well, from what I can see on the touchline. I think he's going to come on now as we speak. I'm not sure who for, but we'll see that now. It could be Bellingham because he was down with cramp a minute ago.
Yeah, absolutely. Last 8 minutes
subs, actually 2 subs are coming on. Sula looks like, I think, is it going to be his debut, this? Marius Wolf is going off, that's for sure.
Yeah, good game for him.
Yeah, he's had a really good game. Yeah, I think he's a player that should be getting, well, he has had quite a bit of game time this last year hasn't he, for them? And I do like him in that side. Reyna's on. It looks as though Sula's going to be on for Brandt as well. So they are going a little bit more defensive, which is quite interesting because it's not typical for them, is it, to do that, to put an extra defender on the pitch. But that's exactly what they've done. Sula is on. I'm not sure. Is it actually his debut, Rory? Or
I think he has had the odd appearance. I could be wrong though.
Not started a game. I know that.
I don't think he started a game. But they obviously seem to be not obviously chucking in the towel, but Dortmund are obviously trying to just see out the game now. A couple of comments in the chat about it, this game being possibly a 1-1. It's starting to feel that way, to be honest. I wouldn't be surprised.
It's a corner as well. They've got a Hoffenheim they know what they're doing here. Sula has actually cleared it behind his first touch for a corner, and Hoffenheim are growing with every minute, even though they're only going to have another 10 minutes to get that goal. But Dortmund look nervous. The crowd are looking nervous. I'm a bit surprised they put another defender on because that in some ways gives more confidence, I think, to Hoffenheim because they're going to think, they fear us here. The corner comes in, it's well cleared. Again, the ball is still with a Hoffenheim man, though, on the edge. It's Kramaric as well, not the man Dortmund would want to be on the ball here. He's been forced out well, but gets the ball. Oh, the ball came in again from Karabarek there, but it's been cleared. They're going to have another chance, to get... Ooh. Corner again, another corner for the TSG. This has been TSG's best spell. Again, good defending from Sula, who's looked impressive just in the minutes since he's come on. He's had 2 or 3 things to do. So good play again there from Kramaric to keep the ball alive. And Kadabarek put a good ball in, which ends up leading to a corner. So 84 minutes on the clock. It's going to be another corner coming in here for the TSG. And it looks better. Ooh. Well out again. There's not one time that a TSG man has got his head onto the ball after a corner. It's out once again now. I think by Hummels this time. This time Dortmund break away though. They've got a 3 against 2 here, Dortmund. And he finds Modeste, who should get his shot off, but shoots it over the bar again. Yeah. But yeah, better this time from Dortmund. But TSG, they do fancy a point here, that's for sure. I think Kadabarek's had a really good half as well since he came. And I'm surprised that Skov is starting ahead of him, to be honest, because I think he's a class apart of a player compared to Skov, in my opinion.
Yeah, well, I guess I think Skov's a bit hit and miss at times. A quick shout out to Gavin. He says it might not last, but as things stands with the same format, he's ranked number 1 in the fantasy Bundesliga world. So
Wow. No
amazing stuff.
way. Yeah.
Yeah, amazing stuff that. So yeah, congrats, Gavin, so far. Obviously, we want to see some more goals, but if it finishes 1-0, then brilliant. That'd be fantastic as well. So yeah, that's great stuff. And yeah, lots of chat about Signal Iduna Park being somewhere that everyone should visit at least once. Ballum saying that, definitely on my bucket list for sure. As we're entering the last 5 minutes of the game, Mark. So yeah, keep us well up to date with what's going on.
There's a young Dortmund fan. I don't know how that's happened, but a young Dortmund fan has just ran onto the pitch and gone to hug Bellingham, who's been quite nice and like kind of accompanied him off the pitch. And actually, yeah, I mentioned that Larson was probably going to get a run out. He has 86 minutes, and he's come on for Jorginho Ruta, I guess because of fatigue. A little bit surprised he's gone off because he was probably looking the most dangerous of all the Dortmund players, the Hoffenheim players. But Larson, again, he's a player that can produce that moment of brilliance, can't he? So, yeah, we're getting very, very late into the match now. And, Hoffenheim, but I would say even now, Hoffenheim possibly looking more likely to get something out of the game than they've done the whole match. And, Kobel's just like launched the ball into his own touch line there. So it's going to be a throw in for Hoffenheim. They are getting most of the possession now. They've increased the possession to 49% as well now. So they're probably going to get right up to 50% by the end of the game. So that's a fair effort against a BVB side who like to dominate games at home, don't they? But yeah.
Yeah, you kind of feel like Dortmund are inviting this pressure on, aren't they, really? And yeah, time will tell whether it's the right decision or not. But yeah, I think they're probably the fans are gonna have to suffer a little bit in these last 5 minutes, as you always do with the 1-0 scoreline, because you feel it's just so fragile with most teams, at least. But Dortmund have been defending better in recent times. Obviously, if you take out the Werder game, so yeah, we shall see if they've got enough about them to hold on as Hoffenheim launch it to go long to try and put a bit of pressure onto Dortmund. But Hummels on that occasion did well to come out of defence and keep the ball. Be interesting to see if Dortmund try to just knock it around a bit, or if they just knock it on the head and just say, let's not invite any silly mistakes, let's just go long.
Yeah. And the BVB, the yellow, it's just had a shot of the yellow wall. They've all come in for a standing ovation for this Dortmund side. They realise how hard they've worked, and they are working very, very hard for Terzic. As I said before, this is not a vintage Dortmund side, in my opinion, but they've worked so hard tonight, and the fans appreciate that. The ultras really kind of going crazy. They look nervous, but, they want to make sure that they see this game home, and every minute that passes by, they are getting nearer to that. It is 88 and a half minutes on the clock now, so they are very, very close to being there. I wouldn't imagine too much added on time, 3-4 minutes max, I would say. So they are the best part of the way there, but it's not like a typical Dortmund side, really, is it? I think bringing Süle on, and now they've got 3 centre halves going into the last few minutes. That is not a typical Dortmund move, but it could be clever in some ways, because Süle's already made 2 good blocks, and it's not something that Dortmund usually do. If anything, they'd normally throw on a striker at this stage. Although Hoffenheim here now, they do have a good attack. Again, it's Karabarek on the side. Oh, he's messed up that cross big time, though. Oh, that was a big chance that for Karabarek to put a good ball in. It's come back to him, though. He seems to want to play it too fast, though, Karabarek. So that's his problem. He doesn't want to take a touch. He just had another chance to put a good ball in there, and he doesn't want to mess around at all. But he's on the. Who is it now on the ball for Dortmund? Not for Dortmund, for Hoffenheim. They had it in the box there, but it's well cleared again. Hoffenheim still on the ball, well into the BVB half. Oh, again. It's Karabarek getting all the space, but the ball comes in again. Oh, is that a corner? It's going to go behind for a corner. Hummels heads it away. Probably shouldn't have headed that behind for a corner, really. Should have been able to get it out for a throw-in, but looks like Moukoko is going to be prepped to come on just as we tick into 90 minutes, and Hoffenheim have this corner. 3 minutes only added on, which is not a surprise, really. The corner comes in. Oh, it's well defended again. One thing I've got to say with this Dortmund side, they've learned how to defend corners, that's for sure. And
Well,
again, they managed to get it out.
Yeah, it was a big
Kramaric, though, still on the
success.
ball. He plays it into the box for Hoffenheim, but it's well defended again. Sula, I mean, I thought he should be starting, really, and he's been brilliant since he came on. I've got to be honest. Like, he's been absolutely brilliant. Like, and he has defended again, and now Dortmund have the ball, and we're half a minute into added on time, and it looks as though Dortmund are probably going to win now.
Yeah, sounds like it. Could that, obviously that three at the back maybe be an option going forward? Once Sula's up and running, with Hummels and Schlotterbeck, when then also use those wing backs as they quite often have done in the past. That'll be definitely a good option for Dortmund, I think. Not long to go now then. So really getting into the final etchings of added on time. Mark, how much added on time do you think we have?
Yeah, just 2 minutes left. Yeah, Maku, they're going to run the clock down. I'm never usually a fan of taking players off in injury time because it usually leads to an extra minute being added on, doesn't it? But Royce is coming off, and Makuku. Yeah, I think they are going to get over the line now. Largely thanks to Sula, because he's had 3 or 4 big interceptions just since he's come on, and he looks very, very commanding in that position. I'm not sure whether it's maybe that he's not got enough game time, and Terzic wants to give him more time to get up to speed, but he's definitely a player that should be starting for me. But then again, Hummels and Schlotterbeck have both been very good as well. So all of a sudden, we're talking about maybe Dortmund's best players all into halves, which is not something that's happened many times over the years, has it? Let's be honest. But yeah, I mean, they'll probably add another 30 seconds on for that, but we're on about 92 minutes. The yellow wall in song, waving the flags around, singing the chants. Obviously, we can't hear them, but it sounds like a good atmosphere there. We just got a minute officially of time, but it probably will add another 30 seconds on for that sub. Although, yeah, good defending there again from Vogt, who's been one of the best players for Hoffenheim tonight. Oh, they won a free kick as well, just inside the Dortmund half. So I would imagine a long ball is going to come in here now. It's that man Kadabarek who wants to play as fast as humanly possible again. Yeah. But yeah, it is going to be him that puts it in, but he is waiting like more than 2 seconds. Although no, Rudy, they've given it to Rudy to kind of put the ball in. All the Dortmund players are up, as are the Hoffenheim. It goes into just around Dortmund win the first ball again, which has happened pretty much the whole evening. And now Bellingham runs the ball forward. It's a Hoffenheim throw into the Dortmund half, into the Hoffenheim half. So it looks as though it's going to be over any minute unless the ref decides to add another minute on for that sub. We are over the 3 minutes now, and it's mistake there from Baumann. Almost gave Dortmund a second goal, but it's been scrambled away. But we must be into the dying seconds now.
Yeah.
Hoffenheim trying to get the ball forward. The refs still, although they have got it forward, they are into the Dortmund half now. Again, it's that man Kadabarek on the ball now. Can he swing something in? No, he plays it into midfield. It's still with the away side. They have put that ball in. Oh, it's fallen to... and he's messed it up, and that has to be the game. Oh, it's game over. It is. And literally, Hoffenheim had a great chance. It fell to Hoffenheim the one time that Dortmund didn't get the first head on the ball with it when a cross came in this whole match, pretty much. It fell to the wide man. I think it was Larsen in the end who just didn't put in a good ball. And yeah, deserved win for Borussia Dortmund in the end. Hoffenheim only managed to get 0.54 on the expected goals. But yeah, not a game that's going to last that long in the memory, but I quite enjoyed the game tonight. I think it was entertaining. I was, I thought it was a tactical game. What did you think, Rory?
Yeah, it was a bit kind of tactical as you say. Might have been a different game if Dortmund had scored a couple of those earlier goals. Maybe it might have brought out the best in terms of Hoffenheim coming forwards because they knew that they had to get quite a few more goals. Maybe Hoffenheim were thinking, leave it to the last 20 and go all guns blazing, but never, as you mentioned, never quite fell their way. Dortmund defended really well. especially from set pieces, although the quality of the set piece is probably lacking a little bit from Hoffenheim, which with the likes of Angelino, obviously Baumgartner and Kramaric there, you would have thought would be a lot better. But yeah, I think a deserved win for Dortmund, and as a result, they go top of the Bundesliga. So all you Dortmund fans that are watching, let us know if you're really happy or not with this result. Good to just scrap a 1-0 win sometimes. So yeah, they'll be pleased. Hoffenheim, no disgrace losing away to Dortmund, but just a little bit disappointing maybe that they couldn't get themselves fully going tonight. But thank you everyone for tuning in tonight for this watch along on a Friday evening. Sorry we couldn't bring you any more than the one goal this evening, but as you say, it was still an enjoyable game for us to do, especially on a Friday night to just get stuck into the weekend. Loads of more Bundesliga action to come this weekend, which we're looking forward to. Just before we sign off, though, thank you all for tuning in. As I say, comments, everything else like that. Give the video a like if you can do. And press the subscribe button so you don't miss out on any future shows, especially watch-alongs, because we really enjoy doing them. We usually get more than one goal as well. So we'll be doing a couple of European games as obviously Champions League, Europa Conference League gets started. So we'll hopefully be doing quite a few of those as well. Like I said earlier on, we're going to be so busy, but hopefully you guys really enjoy it. So make sure you subscribe. You don't miss out. So I think over to you, Mark, just to close up. And again, as I mentioned, congrats to Gavin. Hopefully you're still top of the tree.
Yeah, absolutely. I think Gavin's just come in actually there and said, 11 points from Modeste and 20 from Royce. Yeah, it's just proves, I guess, that sometimes the points I wouldn't have thought that was a 20-point haul from Royce, really. But yeah, it just proves that a lot of the work goes behind closed doors, I guess, doesn't it, sometimes? But yeah, congratulations, Gavin. Yeah, so let's just close the show. So if you enjoyed what you saw, remember to check at Over the Bar FB and at Over the Bar Extra. Remember to check out otbfootball.net, which is the main centerpiece of our work at Over the Bar. And again, to like, comment, subscribe, and check out, push that reminder, because we're going to be doing a lot of shows, minimum 2, sometimes even 3 shows a week over the next 2 months. So looking forward to all that. But hope you enjoyed the game and our commentary tonight. And see you next time, guys. Ciao.
Cheers all.